Hello and welcome everyone. Today we are discussing about skin. In this video we are going to discuss about anatomy, histology and pathology related to skin. Skin is the largest organ in the body, covers body's entire external surface. It is made up of three layers: epidermis, dermis and hypodermis. Skin serves as a body's initial barrier against pathogens, UV lights, chemicals and mechanical injury. Thickness of each layer of skin varies depending on the body region. Hairless skin found in palms of hands and soles of the feet is the thickest because the epidermis contains an extra layer, that is stratum lucidum. Blood vessels and lymphatic vessels are found in dermal layer of skin. Blood supply to skin is an arrangement of two plexuses. The first lies between papillary and reticular layers of dermis, and the second lie between dermis and subcutaneous tissues. Nerves of skin include both somatic and autonomic nerves. The somatic sensory system is responsible for pain, temperature, light touch, discriminative touch, vibration, pressure and proprioception, mediated primarily by specialized cutaneous receptor and an organ including Merkel disc, Pacinian corpuscles, Meissner's corpuscles and Ruffini corpuscles. The autonomic innervation is responsible for control of tone of the vasculature, pilomotor stimulation at the hair root and sweating. Now let's learn about the histology of skin. Skin has a 5 main layers. First is stratum basale, the deepest portion of the epidermis. Second is stratum spinosum. Third is stratum granulosum. Fourth is stratum lucidum. And the last is stratum corneum. Stratum basale, also known as stratum germinativum, is the deepest layer separated from the dermis by basement membrane and attached to the basement membrane by hemidesmosomes. The cells found in this layer are cuboidal to columnar and mitotically active stem cells that are constantly producing keratinocytes. This layer also contains melanocytes. Melanocytes present as a rounded cell bodies with a clear cytoplasm and slender cytoplasmic processes. The next is stratum spinosum. It contains 8 to 10 cell layers, and it is also known as prickle cell layer because it contains irregular polyhedral cells with cytoplasmic processes, sometimes called spines. This spine connect neighboring cells by desmosomes. Dendritic cells can be found in this layer. The third is stratum granulosum. It has 3 to 5 cell layers. It contains diamond-shaped cells with keratohyalin granules and lamellar granules. The keratohyalin granules contain keratin precursors that eventually aggregate, cross-link and form bundles. They are dense, ovoid and basophilic. Lamellar granules contain glycolipids that get secreted to the surface of cells, and it function as a glue and it keeps the cell stuck together. Fourth is stratum lucidum. It has 2 to 3 cell layers. It is present in the thicker skin found in the palms and soles. Fifth is the stratum corneum. It contains 20 to 30 cell layers. Is the uppermost layer of the skin. It is made up of keratin and horny scales made up of dead keratinocytes known as anucleated squamous cell. This is the layer which varies most in thickness. Within this layer, the dead keratinocytes secrete defensins, which are the part of first immune defense. It is characterized by keratin in anucleate cells in the basket wave pattern. The cells of epidermis. They are keratinocytes, melanocyte, Langerhans cells and Merkel cells. Keratinocytes also regulate calcium absorption by activation of cholesterol precursors by UVB light to form vitamin D. Melanocytes are derived from neural crest cells and primarily produce melanin, which is responsible for pigment of the skin. Melanin granules from melanocytes are transferred via the long processes to the cytoplasm of basal keratinocyte. Melanin transferred to neighboring keratinocytes by pigment donation involves phagocytosis of tips of melanocyte processes by keratinocytes. Langerhans cells, dendritic cells, are the skin's first line defenders and play a significant role in antigen presentation. These cells are mesenchymal in origin, derived from CD34 positive stem cells of bone marrow, and are the part of mononuclear phagocytic system. They contain Burbeck granules, tennis racket-shaped cytoplasmic organelles. Merkel cells are oval-shaped modified epidermal cells found in stratum basale. This cell serves as a sensory function as a mechanoreceptors for light touch and are most populous in the fingertips, although they are also found in palm, soles, oral and genital mucosa. The dermis, it consists of two layers of connective tissue. First is papillary dermis and second is reticular dermis. The papillary layer is upper layer, thinner, composed of loose connective tissue and which in contact with epidermis. The reticular layer is a deeper layer, thicker, less cellular and consists of dense connective tissue with bundles of collagen fibers. The dermis houses the sweat glands, hair follicles, muscles, sensory neurons and blood vessels. Hypodermis. Hypodermis is a deep to dermis and it is also called subcutaneous fascia. It is the deepest layer of the skin. Muscles. The erector pili muscles are bundles of smooth muscle fiber that attach to connective tissue sheath of hair follicles. When muscle contract, they pull the hair follicle outward, resulting in the hair erecting up, but also compresses the sebaceous gland, resulting in the secretion of their contents. Now let's learn about the process of cell division, desquamation and shedding in the skin. Cell division occur in the stratum basale. One cell remain and another cell is pushed toward the surface. The basal cell begins synthesis of tonofilaments which are grouped into bundles. The cells are pushed into stratum spinosum. In the upper part of spinous layer, cells begin to produce keratohyalin granules having intermediate associated proteins, filagrins and trichohyalin, which helps aggregate the keratin filaments and conversion of granular cell to cornified cells, which is called the keratinization. Cells also produce lamellar bodies. The cells are pushed into stratum granulosum and become flattened and diamond shaped. The cells accumulate keratohyalin granules mixed between tonofibrils. Cells continue to stratum corneum where they are flattened and lose organelles and nuclei. The keratohyalin granules turn tonofibrils into a homogeneous keratin matrix. Finally, the cornified cells reach the surface and are desquamated via breakdown of desmosomes. Now let's learn about the different terminology that are related to skin disorders. First is parakeratosis. It refers to corneocytes in the stratum corneum with retained nuclei. Parakeratosis is a sign of increased cell turnover, can present in disorders such as psoriasis. Hyperkeratosis refers to thickening of stratum corneum due to an abnormal increase in keratin. It is often present in conditions like eczema, warts and corns. Different terminology related to the lesions of the skin. First is macule. It is a small patch of skin that is altered in color but it is not elevated. Second is papule. It is elevated, solid, palpable lesion that is less than or equal to 1 cm in diameter. Third is nodule. It is elevated, solid and palpable lesion more than 1 centimeter in diameter. Cyst. It is papule or nodule that contains fluid. Fifth is plaque, a circumscribed palpable lesion more than 1 centimeter in diameter. Next is vesicle. It is small blister. It is circumscribed lesion less than or equal to 1 centimeter in diameter that contains liquid. Bulla. It is a large blister, a circumscribed lesion more than 1 centimeter in diameter that contains liquid. Pustule. It is a circumscribed lesion that contains pus. Wheal. It is a transient elevation of skin due to dermal edema, often pale centrally with an erythematous rim and without the surface change. Now let's learn about benign lesions of skin. First is inflammatory conditions like eczema, psoriasis, acne vulgaris, lichen planus and contact dermatitis. Blistering dermatosis include conditions such as pemphigus vulgaris, bullous pemphigoid and dermatitis herpetiformis. Disorders of pigmentation and melanocytes include disease such as vitiligo, albinism. Infectious disorders include impetigo, cellulitis, verruca and molluscum contagiosum. Metabolic disorders may show signs in the skin as epidermis is rapidly cycling tissue and drug eruptions. The tumor pathology includes neoplasms such as seborrheic keratosis and basal cell carcinoma, squamous cell carcinoma, Langerhans cell histiocytosis, Merkel cell carcinoma. Disorders of pigmentation and melanocytes include disease such as nevus and melanoma. This is in short about skin, and these are the references for this video. Hope you like it. Thank you. Bye. See you in the next video.